Hello everyone and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today wherever you are in this great world. We're going to talk about XRP. We're going to talk about other things as well. So let's start with this. Bankrupt FTX recovers $7.3 billion in assets as it considers a Q2 relaunch. Although recovery of funds are certainly positive for former users, the news of a potential relaunch is an interesting one. Specifically, FTX is undoubtedly three letters that represent a horrendous period of time for many investors. Now, because we're in crypto, we would never invest through FTX ever again. But what about the new people coming into crypto? They're most likely not going to want to touch FTX either. Think about it. They've been spoon-fed for months now that FTX and crypto is dead. So the only path forward I see is rebranding. Warren Buffett calls Bitcoin a gambling token in latest crypto criticism. One of the most well-known investors in the history of finance has once again made his feelings on the specific crypto known. Specifically, Warren Buffett has called Bitcoin a gambling token in his latest criticism of the digital asset. Now, Bitcoin maxis and most people in crypto would say, what does Warren Buffett know? He's old. He doesn't understand technology. He doesn't understand crypto. Well, maybe you want to think again. Warning, pay attention. Those who fail to learn from history are doomed to repeat it. Winston Churchill said that. Fact. Warren Buffett warned about the dot-com bubble in 1999. He was laughed at by the new upstart millionaires with their Lambos. In 2000, it all collapsed. Fact, he's warning about Bitcoin now. Fact, the feds know who Satoshi is and have continued to let the world think they don't. Why? Fact, CNBC showed Buffett's dot-com warnings in 1999. They are showing Bitcoin warnings now. Bitcoin feels like the setup of setups. Who would win if it was? The government. They would hold up its failure as the reason decentralization won't work. Now, this also sounds a lot like Dan Penna, Trillion Dollar Man. He said that if people found out who created Bitcoin, it would go to zero. So is Warren Buffett giving us heads up this time around also? We'll have to wait and see. U.S. inflation falls to 5% in March, lowest in 2 years. Now, most of us already understand that inflation is not coming down. You know, go get gas, go to the grocery store, go out to eat, go to the movies. Everything still seems like it's going up or shrinking. You know, I believe these numbers they come out with are just made up numbers at this point. BlackRock believes Fed will be forced to cut rates without reaching their 2% inflation target. Americans will have to live with high prices for years to come. I would rather believe BlackRock because they're literally tied to everything. I'm sure they already know. Credit card debt, household debt, and personal debt continues to explode while savings are in the negative. Middle class is being wiped out clean while we're betting against the system by owning hard assets like gold and silver. You could also add crypto to that. A lot of people are pulling away from the banks. They're trying to invest in something because they see inflation still rising and they want to find something that they can invest in to make money so they could fight off inflation at the same time. Crypto is a great investment to make, especially now. I still feel that everything's starting to turn around. What about Fed Now? Now, you know I don't like Fed Now. I feel that it's a prelude to a CBDC. But people always ask, you know, do you think Fed Now is tied to Ripple? Is Ripple going to be part of it? Well, an easier way is to Google Villani Technologies, then Villani Fed Now, Villani Ripple. There is your connection. Now, what about Cypherium? I always told you that looks very scammy to me. And I believe that it's a distraction, if nothing else. So you see right here, Villani, all the features you need. All FedNow message types include requests for pay, send and receive, clear and settle 24/7, 365. Built-in sanctions, fraud, and liquidity management. Value-added services ready to deploy. So that's Volani. And then you see the tie to Ripple through Volani as well. We view Volani as a critical partner for building Ripple's new real-time data-rich payments network. Now, I still feel that the Fed has been working with Ripple in the background since all the way back in 2017. I still feel that the SEC case is just a delay tactic until FedNow is ready to go live as well. The United States has not had a treasury since 1921. Now read this. So IMF unveils Unicoin, a global CBDC. As opponents of central bank digital currencies are getting more vocal in their criticism of this type of digital version of paper money that many countries are either adopting or are close to doing so. This is one of the pillars of financial globalism. The International Monetary Fund has made its stance very clear. The IMF's spring meetings this year saw the announcement of the organization's own international central bank digital currency, called the Universal Monetary Unit, UMU, aka Unicoin. Now, this is also something very big because they're talking about a central bank to tie in all the central banks together. But what about Ripple? So XRP could fit the bill for an international, non-national currency that the IMF World Bank could use as a settlement means. The central idea is still built around an international, non-national currency, and XRP could fit the bill. It already does in most ways, the IMF acting together with the World Bank as a central bank for central banks could use XRP as a settlement means between the banks of the world while keeping balance along with bilateral relationships. That's how XRP will be tied to every single CBDC, no matter what network they choose to build it on in their country. It will tie everything together. The IMF's leader has singled out Ripple in the past, calling it a disruptor, for instance, above other digital assets, which shows that she's very well about Ripple, its technologies, and its currency. So it would only make sense for the IMF to take advantage of Ripple's XRP already developed networks, technology, and reliability to bring forward the next world's financial system. It's all starting to make sense now. It's all starting to come together. But what about XLM? From the latest IMF document, all those trolls that doubted it being a stablecoin, they will be stable coins. The question is, at what price? My belief is XRP is gold and XLM is silver on the blockchain. Remember when people always talked about that? And I always said they don't need to be backed by anything to have high value. But the two digital currencies that fall into the stablecoin category are RippleNet's native digital currency, XRP, and Stellar Networks' native cryptocurrency, Stellar Lumen, XLM. Both Ripple and Stellar enable faster and more efficient cross-border payments relative to correspondent banking. I believe everything is coming together, and I always said Ripple, XRP and XLM, they're going to be brother and sister in the future. They're going to work together side by side all throughout the world. And I believe everything starts with the IMF. Market infrastructure have already done POC for cross-network interoperability through ISO 222, cross-border interoperability without correspondent banking, end of 2023, plus Ripple named as the new DLT-based payment infrastructure. And you see it named twice. It shows you how it could be utilized on two different ways. But Ripple is literally going to be tied to all of it. And I still don't believe we've seen any value come from ISO yet. I think that's going to come later and over time. Always use the opportunity to stock up your holdings while it's cheap enough. One day you will never see these prices again. That is absolutely true. Right now, XRP is sitting around 50 cents. There's going to come a time where you wish you were buying it at these prices. There might come a day where people are just buying fractions of an XRP. How is crypto affecting the global economy? Now, first they go on and they talk about cybersecurity and hacks, and they talk about illicit activity. But the takeaway is this: cryptocurrency has been both positive and negative impacts on the global economy. The decentralized and transparent nature of cryptocurrencies has the potential to provide financial inclusion, innovation, investment opportunities, and reduce transaction fees. However, the high volatility, lack of regulation, energy consumption, and cybersecurity concerns associated with cryptocurrencies pose challenges to their wider adoption and integration into the global economy. It doesn't matter how volatile crypto is. If you invest in the right cryptocurrencies now, you don't have to worry about volatility in the future. I believe everything is going to change at some point. We're not going to see the cycles like we see now. Instead, these cryptocurrencies are going to have a value put on them by the central banks of the world. You could see it coming to that point slowly. But I still also feel that, more and more companies want to come on board with crypto as well. The US is making it so hard with its anti crypto agenda through the SEC. And even the White House is always putting out something how they look at crypto as nothing but an illegal substance that people aren't supposed to own. But we know better. We're crypto investors. We're going to stay invested because we know where this is all going to end up in the end. It's going to end with XRP skyrocketing and giving us all financial freedom. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you watching my videos. We'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.